One girl after another, one so-called love affair after another. And then there was Nikki. For the first time in my life, I wanted a family. I want a family with that woman so much. And this damn freak accident happened.
My Charlie loves lasagna, so I need a tough grease cut.
This is a CBS News special report. Dan Rather reporting. There has been an arrest in the bombing at the World Trade Center, who has been identified but not confirmed by name, is said to be a Muslim fundamentalist. There is a name being floated about, but it's important to remember this as a moment is an accused person. Various law enforcement agencies have been leaking information around. Sometimes that kind of information is unreliable, but thus far that the suspect arrested has ties to a mosque in New Jersey, and that law enforcement officials are searching that mosque in New Jersey. In Washington, there are news conferences underway at the F.B.I. In their wisdom and for their own purposes, have decided not to share the information that's being leaked out by various law enforcement places with anybody else at the moment. They are talking about some arrests they've done with telemarketing. We're told that now, after about 15 to 20 minutes, they've decided to tell people what's happening with the World Trade bombing arrests, so we go to Washington.
The individual has not been arraigned. Under the rules and regulations governing the Justice Department, and by derivation the FBI, we do not disclose identifying data on individuals before the public record is created. It will be several hours before that takes. It's a remarkable day in the history of the FBI. More details will be disclosed over time. And I think at this point, other than confirming the arrest, suggesting to you that an arraignment will take place in the Southern District of New York later today, and that we'll be prepared to provide at least some more details this evening, I can say no more at this time. If you want to describe the same thing in other words, you're welcome to it.
I don't know that I describe in other words. What I would remind you is that an investigation, of course, is continuing and will continue for many months ahead. And as a part of the investigative process, it's absolutely essential that we deal with that information that we do have in a way that will further the investigative processes. And for that reason, General Gerson and I agree absolutely that it would be inappropriate to comment as to any information that relates that he
said we will not disclose. But we'll take questions if you want to. Yes. Yes. Tell me your agency.
Univision News.
Yes, sir.
The fact that the FBI time and again said that this investigation would take a long time perhaps to fully resolve, isn't it less than a week after the event, someone that might have been linked or not, somewhat premature? Aren't you perhaps being rushed to get somebody? The fact that only less than a week that the actual event took place, what does it say about the FBI?
Well, it says a number of things. First of all, we take the circumstance where we find it. We take the evidence that we have, the information we have, and we act upon it. The first of the investigation, though we may have had successes along the way, the final product is what we will end up presenting to a United States attorney, who in turn will present it to a grand jury, who in turn will present it to a court and a jury. So we have a long road ahead of us, and there's no question about that. We've been successful early on in finding and arresting a person as we have. I think really tells me nothing except that we've been very fortunate, and it's been a good investigation thus far. Yes, Ms. Davidson.
Jim Davidson, Wall Street Journal. How many more people do you expect to be arrested?
I would not comment on that at all. That will depend upon the evidence we get from the investigator. Yes, sir.
Why was the White House going to do it?
I can answer that. Mr. Gerson will answer that. I don't know that the White House was the conduit for the information in the sense that the White House confirmed something that was out there. The president had been informed earlier today about the activity and some of the details was how the White House was equipped. And I don't mark anything unusual about it except for the fact that I believe Mr. Stephanopoulos had a scheduled news conference, was bombarded with a great deal of information, some of it wrong, asked me if he could confirm it, and I suggested that we at least do that.
Anything affirmative. Can you at least help us out by telling us what's wrong that's been reported?
No, I think Beverly, I credit the question, but it's the same thing.
I don't understand. I mean, the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office frequently tell us when an arrest is made. They frequently make that information available prior to arraignment. Why are you acting differently?
I don't want to debate what happens in some cases. In my view, we're not acting differently. We're acting according to the book. We don't want to do anything that would imperil this investigation, anything that would debilitate us in any way in presenting this to the judge or magistrate who will get it later. We want to proceed in the most orderly fashion that we can, the most legally regular fashion that we can. We're not interested in creating issues for anybody. What we're most concerned about is a thorough, complete investigation and an unhampered ability for the prosecution that results from it. Carl.
Mr. NBC, quite apart from the individual involved, have you advised the ability of the Confederates of this person to undertake other such attacks?
Well, your question includes assumptions, and I don't even want to verify that. No, I understand what you're going to quote me back to me. I remembered what I said, Carl. Let's suggest that no man is an island, or woman for that matter, and that we're concerned always about other individuals, if not associates or whatever else. That's what the FBI is doing now, pursuing all leads, doing everything it can to ascertain anybody who may have had any connection and take the appropriate steps.
Would you stop these Confederates from undertaking further?
I don't know that that's scientifically answerable, but even if it were, I'm not going to answer it. The FBI is conducting ongoing activity, and it's appropriate to report that in terms of submitting it to legal authorities or in describing an operation that has been concluded and is secure. We understand the craving of this information, and it's legitimate. I have nothing to say about it. I would suggest to you, though, that this evening the affidavits of the activity will become public. There was some information that is on his names.
How or where got him and at what time?
I think that that's derivation of the question that Stern asked, and the answer is the same.
Can you tell us for a fact, no question, this was a terrorist group? What you're saying?
I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I mean, you're making assumptions that it's a group, that it's a group activity. At this point, while there is information in the public domain, some correct and some incorrect, we have nothing to say about that. The FBI has leads to follow, an investigation to complete, and that is what we need to do. That's the way we can offer the best security. Finish the answer. I'll come back to it. That's the way we can offer the best security to the American people who are interested in it. That's the way we can offer the best product that results from some very, very diligent activity on the part of the FBI and other agencies. I know things that I won't say. I would not discuss any matters that relate to either the arrest of the person or the identification of the person. Yes, sir. I would not discuss any identifiers for the person at all. You will have identifiers. You will have identifiers this evening.
What time was the arrest?
I wouldn't discuss the time of the arrest at all. Yes.
Do you think it's more than the single individual apprehension?
That is always true. We do not know the extent of any particular criminal activity, any particular operation. We'll just have to wait until the investigation completed. Yes, ma'am.
When we'll get more information?
Well, it will be at the time of the arraignment, whenever that is. You know that it's in the Southern District of New York, and that we will, of course, take them before the magistrate. As soon as possible. I can answer that question. The expected time of the arraignment, based on the data that I have from the United States Attorney within the last 20 minutes, is about 6 o'clock, but that can change. It could be a little sooner, it could be somewhat later. Today? Probably across the street, but there's useful information that I've. It is not unlikely that we'll do something to that.
A news conference with the acting Mr. Gerson, Peter Williamson, who's director of the FBI. Now, what happened this afternoon, there has been an arrest in the bombing of New York City. Various law enforcement officials have been busily leaking information about that arrest, but the acting Attorney General and the director of the FBI refused to give any information other than to say that, yes, an arrest has been made. They caution that some of the information being leaked out by various law enforcement officials in New York City, the acting Attorney General, some of it is right, some of it is wrong. Now, in the bombing, an arrest was made this afternoon. Various law enforcement officials say that the accused person is a 26-year-old by the name of Salama Mohammed. This young man, 26 years old, who one law enforcement official is saying is not an American citizen. We do not know that fact. This young man said that he admitted, it is said, that he went into the band under his own name. Now, that is the claim of unidentified law enforcement officials who are feeding out information all around New York City this afternoon.